Oh man, what is happening, guys? Welcome to another episode of Creatives on Business. My name is Henry Marsh, and it is my job to chat to all of the most amazing human beings right across the world about their creative lives and how they make an income and a career and a life out of the creative things that they do. My guest with me today is a longtime friend of mine. We've known each other for a very, very, very long time and have been friends for a very, very long time. And we used to go hiking back in the day. Siphe, frontman of Zebra. What is happening, dude? Welcome to the show.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Appreciate you having me, bro.
Dude, it is only a pleasure. It's so stoked to have you here. I'm just going to be doing here things for the socials. Just going to be showing people that we are doing things. I'm going to tag you on the books of face as well. Oh no, that's not your name. Oh wow, there's a whole bunch. I know apparently a whole bunch of different Siphes. Anyways, that's awkward. I actually need someone to run like this production side of things with me. I don't know how people do this on their ace.
No, they always. No, I'm pretty sure people always have that one person. Or practice makes perfect, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. This is only the second time I'm going live on a live stream on my podcast. All the others have been pre-recorded, and it was like super chilled vibes and like no stress or anything like that. And I can see now, like even my camera's died. Okay, no, my camera's back, so we're all good. So, Siphe, you are the frontman of Zebra. How do you say that? Is it Zebra? Is it Zebra? What is it?
Nobody gives a damn, bro. Is it
really?
Black with white stripes? Is it white with black stripes? Nobody gives a damn. It's a bloody zebra, bro.
Okay. Tell us the story. Who is Siphe? Who is Siphe Mashigo, and what is it that you do in the world? What is your attribution and contribution to the world?
Okay, so my name is Siphe. I used to work for us. We still work there, but we didn't get much. Yeah, anyway, I work for a company called Act Studios. I am a drama teacher. I teach kids from the lovely age of 3 years old up until 18. We teach them in active communication training, and then obviously as they get older and more advanced, we get into the actual dramatics and theatrics of the dramatic arts. On a side note, on the other side of my life, I am the frontman of a band called Zebra. We started humbly in a lovely student bar called On Class about 3 years ago. 3 years ago. It's about 3 years now. Yeah.
Wow. That's ridiculous.
3 years ago, I met my best friend, Vim. He was literally, he was on a, it's actually quite an interesting story. I met him, he was dancing on a table.
As you do in On-Class. Like, that's the only way that you can dance in On-Class.
As you do, but he had a cast from his hip down to his ankle. And he was having the time of my life, time of his life. And I was like, listen, I need to be friends with that guy. And the rest is history, man. We started a band. And, our band started as a joke. And it became probably one of the biggest passions and one of the biggest parts of my life at the moment. Zebra is a part of who I am, and yeah.
I feel like in the last 3 years since you guys started Zebra, and you guys have blown up. Like, and it's so funny that you brought up On-Class just now, because literally about an hour ago I posted on Instagram. I'm like, when is On-Class going to be opening up again? Because I just have to know. I need to go back to On-Class. I need to go dance on some tables and stuff. But I feel like since you guys started off at On-Class, this small little indie rock band with this native frontman singing rock songs. Like, I feel like you guys have blown up, and you guys have done some of the most amazing things. You've been on big stages, some of the big beer fest concerts and festivals that we've had in Pretoria. What's one of the coolest shows? What is one of the biggest shows that you guys have done?
One of the coolest ones that I can think of off the bat is two. Opikopi, which was amazing. We did Opikopi 2018. I must be honest, I thought we were going to have 10 people in front of us because we played at 11 o'clock in the morning. I was so sure. I was like, nah, 10 people. And this was quite in the beginning of our careers. And it's one of the things that really did sort of springboard us to where we are today. And we played Opikopi. We played at 11 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday Brailoff stage, and we had like 200 people in front of us, and it was face melting, man. It was one of those things that you dream of. I used to hear you guys when I was younger. You guys talk about how awesome Opikopi was. I mean, I remember the year that you guys went to Opikopi. I think it was 2010, and Sun 41 was there, and I was like, all I wanted to do was come and go with you guys. And I was young. I couldn't go. I was too young. And I remember the year that you guys went to Aloe Black was there. I think I was actually old enough.
Dude, Aloe Black, man. That was a concert. That was amazing. That was nuts.
See? You see what I mean?
Wow.
And I really wanted to go, but I couldn't because I was studying. I was in the midst of getting my dance and musical theater diploma. And finally getting to that point of actually not only experiencing the festival, but performing at it, which was insane. And I mean, it was also my sister's first Opikopi. My sister's never been to a festival. I had never been to a festival at that time. And it was just so much fun, man. I had so much, I met so many amazing artists. I watched only from Tukudzi for the first time in my life. I watched I watched Questa on an Opikopi stage. I watched Shoma Jozi on an Opikopi stage.
Yeah.
I watched Hellcats. It was a different type of Opikopi, and I'm so glad I was there. I think the other festivals worth mentioning was Splashy Fen. Oh man, another festival that you guys also used to talk about so much, and I always just wanted to experience it. The first time I got to experience it, I got to perform, and I mean I got to perform on the river stage. We met so many awesome people out there. We met Lanky J. We met the Shabs, which is also an amazing band. We met the Steezies, who was supposed to be one of the headlining acts this year. We played the same stage with them last year. Very good friends of ours, and just an amazing experience, both Flashy and Oppie. And the other one, I feel like I also need to recommend to you, and I think you should go to, is White Mountain.
Oh yeah, I've heard.
I've heard. Now, I've never been to a festival where people go there solely for the music. Henry, when I say people go there for the music, I kid you not, bro. We got there, people had put down their camping chairs in the main tent, right? Because that's where they sit for the whole weekend. They go, they sit down, and they're into your music and they're listening to your music.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
I have never had a crowd so attentive and so actually listening to the lyrics and actually engaging in the show. And it was absolutely insane. One of my favorite shows to date. Yeah.
Now,
that's just to name a couple. Carry on all day.
I mentioned earlier that I'm an on-class frequenter, and one of my favorite experiences is always if there's a band, and there's been very few. There's been very few, and obviously you guys are sort of the most recent. A band that comes out of the bar staff of on-class, you guys sort of become the home favorites. If there was a rugby team or something like that, there's home favorites. You always go watch your home favorite rugby team playing at Loftus or something. I feel like Antlas is that for you guys. You are the home favorites, and whenever you guys perform, it is full house. It is packed. Everybody knows every single lyric to every single song, and it is just the wildest party in the whole world. And it's honestly the passion that you guys have invoked. You guys have got. I feel like you've only been performing for 3 years. You've crafted this almost like a cult following. Even to when I was getting in touch with your flippin' social media manager or manager or band manager, whoever he is, David. You guys have this cult following of the herd, people who just want to know absolutely everything that's going on in your lives, and it's amazing because I feel like the bands that are truly successful, yes, cool, there's people out there who earn billions of dollars and the whole world knows who they are, but the guys who I find who are so truly successful are the people who have this deep bond, deep connection with their audience and the people who listen to their music. And I feel like that's something that you guys have. If anyone's ever attended any one of your shows, I feel like that is something that you guys have. It's almost like a Fok of Polisikar kind of vibe, like Fok of Polisikar 10 years ago. That's what you guys are right now kind of thing. So I feel like, if you guys just kept on going at it, that's what you guys would become. I don't know if that's the goal.
That's exactly what we'll do, man. For us, Zebra it's not about the fame. It's not about the money. It's not about that, bro. It's about getting onto stage, going absolutely mental on stage, and having the time of our lives and having a party. That's what it is, bro. If you rock up to one of our shows and you drink and you have fun with us and you jump around with us, that's all we need. You know, if we have invoked some type of feeling of a good time in your body after you've watched our show, we've done our jobs.
Yeah.
That's all we want to do. You know, we feel like our biggest thing is that in South Africa, we have so many different cultures and so many different people and different ways of thinking. But there's one thing that will unite anyone and one language that anyone understands, and that is music. And it's so deeply embedded in us as South Africans, because as South Africans, when we're angry and we want to protest, what do? We sing. When we're sad and we're burying someone, we sing. When we're happy, we sing. When we go to church, we sing. Anything, like, music is such a big part of our lives as South Africans that it is one of the only languages that we understand universally.
I think another one of the things that's exceptionally unique about you guys as Zebra is obviously, I mean, you're a man of color, if I can say a black man. There's all these things that I don't know how like politically correct I'm allowed to be here. You know, as a white middle class man, it's very
black man. I got you.
Yeah, thank you. As a white middle class man, it's very difficult to use different words or different phrases. But I feel like, you know, as a man of color, leading a band of, you know, 3 other white guys, you guys are also in this extremely unique position where you guys sort of bridge different cultural divides, you know, because you're a black guy who's obviously, you know, this sort of stereotypically you guys are into, you know, rap and hip hop and those kinds of things, which I know you are, but the band as Zebra, you guys are far more like on the rock band scale, and obviously you sort of,
I think in the beginning we were a lot more, you know, the rock band ish, and our sound has evolved in the last 3 years. And, you know, there is if you watch a show now, there is the R&B element that you'll hear. There is the kwaito beat element that you'll hear. There is the house beat. There is a boom beat that you'll hear. There is the straight up punk beat that you'll hear. It's you know, it's a mesh of different genres. That's why when people ask me, what genre of music do you guys play? And I go,
South African.
Comedy. You know? And, you know, we also all come from different backgrounds of music. Like you say, I used to love house. I still love house. I'm a piano. I love hip hop. I love house music. Vim was your Focus Politica guy. Your Straatlige Kinders. That's what he grew up on, and that's what he loved. He came from Middelburg. Then you had Duncan, who was a BMUS student, studied jazz, and he's in love with jazz. Then you have Ivan, who's a metalhead, straight up metalhead. And, you know, I think all of those little parts and influences in our lives and in the music that we like influences hugely on the music that we make. And it just, I don't know, man, it brings people together and it brings different sounds together. And I think that's one of the biggest things I enjoy about working with the guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, that's what I was saying just now is you guys managed to bridge this cultural gap. And if anyone who's ever been to one of your shows, like you can see it, even in the way that you guys dress and the way that you guys perform and the music that you're making, you're just bridging this cultural gap and bridge everything. It's incredible. But what I wanted to chat about is actually, so you mentioned very, very briefly that you actually have a drama background. You studied acting. How do you feel like that's influenced the way that you guys create music or the way that you perform?
Okay, so like you said, I studied dance and musical theater. 3 years of my life, straight after high school, went and studied at Oakfields College, and I studied dance and musical theater. And I studied how to change my voice in different styles of singing, different styles of acting, different styles of dancing. I mean, dude, I used to do ballet. I used to do contemporary. I used to do jazz. I used to do tap. And all of that training, you know, and you train to be able to get onto a stage and create a character and be that character. And I feel like when I step onto stage as Siphe in my zebra suit, and I am now about to start a zebra show, from the moment I take that stance and I start with ladies and gentlemen, that's a different character. All of my training comes to be. I lose myself on a stage. I lose. I feel like as soon as I step onto that stage, I leave Siphe there just off the stage, and this new character comes on, and that is who I become. And my training has helped me so much in that. I know how to sing without hurting my voice. I know how to dance. I know how to move. I know the training has done the world of difference. And I wish everyone else had gone through it. Because, you know, Vim sometimes looks at me and goes, bro, I didn't even know you could do that or move like that. And then you teach them and they're like, bro, where did you learn this? And I'm like, this is what I studied. This is what I studied. I studied to be a performer. And it has only made my performance that much better.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, and I feel like it'll be a common theme with what we're talking about right now. The people who go and watch you, you're a performer through and through, and you're not just coming to watch a music show. It's not some random band that's on stage that's playing good music, and you guys actually put on a performance. And you guys wear. Actually, let's break this down a little bit. So you guys have actually got costumes that you wear on stage. Do you ever wash those things? Curious. I'm curious. Do you ever wash those things?
Look. If we're doing shows here in Pretoria and Joburg, you know, and they're a couple of days apart, yeah, we wash them. It's when we go on tour where it gets a little tough, bro. And you're on the road and you're doing a show every night. And you kind of, so let me take you back to our very first tour. It was 2 years ago. We went down to Durban and we did 6 shows in a row and we drove back. After the first show, we were like, oh, our onesies are wet because it's summer and we're sweaty. What are we going to do? No, let's just hang them up. And then you get to the second show the next night, and you put on your onesie and it's damp. The sweat. And yeah, so now we try not to go on tour with onesies. we have actual outfits now. I don't know when was the last time you saw us. We actually have like different outfits that we wear. Our onesies is not. It's kind of like we kind of bring them out on special shows now.
Okay.
It's never just we wear onesies all the time. So we've got like I've got a dungaree. Vanna's got like what would a khaki broek?
Oh, I think I actually have seen these.
You know, and then but it's in zebra print. Ivan's just got zebra pants, and Duncan's got like a zebra vest. And so those are the costumes that we've kind of gone with now. It was designed by Zarika, a very good friend of ours. And so we try to, obviously, I mean, you know, it's trial and error. And the thing with the onesies is that when we started with the onesies, it became so much a part of how we were identifiable that we didn't want to stop wearing them. So now when we do big shows, you will see us with the onesies. If we go back to Antlas, you will see us with our onesie. If it's like a smaller show that's not so great, like not that it's not that any other show is any smaller than the other, but you know, if we have a show that we don't necessarily need the onesies for, we'll wear our dungarees and our nice and our lacquer outfits. Still very recognizable and identifiable. Like I'll walk past you, like that's definitely. There's no other way. But yeah, those costumes also are our personalities. They give off our personalities and who we are. You know, with Ivan only having the bottoms because he's a crazy
it's
man.
Ivan, yeah.
Vim with his sort of like a Afrikaans Buddha uniform, but you know, in a zebra print because that's where he comes from. He comes from the Plattelands, man. That's what he grew up in. And Ivan with the Duncan with the jagged edges, cut off kind of vest, and because he's a rugged man and he's a space kid. I love it.
Space kid. I love that.
Yeah.
So was that a conscious decision from the beginning when you guys got started and you started performing and touring? You guys made a conscious decision, like we have to go out with a set uniform or a set costume so that people could recognize who we were.
So when we started this thing, like I said, we started this thing as a joke, myself and Bill. It was, I kid you not, Henry, it was a literal joke. It was like, let's make some funny songs up and see how it goes, type of thing. And so when me and Vim were rehearsing here in my house, in fact, in this very room at some point, we were going to open for Jack Barrow at OnClass. It was just a duo at that time. We had just done a couple of open mics and we just won the opportunity to open for Jack Barrow. And I was getting stuff out of my cupboard and Vim was like, bro, is that a zebra onesie? Yes. Because I brought the zebra onesie, but 2 years before for a onesie day at varsity. And I just never wore it again until now. And I put it on and Vim found his girlfriend had a panda onesie. And we kind of put it on and we're like, yeah, this is us now. This is how we're going to perform from now on. And consciously, from that point on, it was a conscious decision to always have that type of uniform.
That's amazing.
Because it's identifiable.
Absolutely. So have you found that's like been able to distinguish you and set you guys apart from some of the other smaller bands that are starting up and trying to get out there?
Oh, definitely, dude. I mean, you get bands that you hear about, they're like, they're awesome and everything. But imagine someone telling you, bro, have you heard about Zebra? The guys that jump around in onesies. And that's your identity. If you can get people starting to, yes, it's a gimmick. I'll be very honest. It is a gimmick. But it's a gimmick that has made us recognizable. Mm. You know, it makes you stand out from any other up and coming band, because it's that up and coming band that has one that do their show in onesies.
Yeah. Now you've mentioned right now that you guys sort of got your start with open mics and performing and starting to open up for bigger acts and that kind of thing. What would you say was the moment that you guys realized that this was a thing? Like Zebra is something that you guys want to take serious?
I think it was the second time we were opening for Jack Barrow at Beer House in Centurion. And it was now like, it was the third big artist that we've actually had the opportunity to open for. And we had, at that point, we had just gotten Ivan in as well. And we played that show. I remember what happened is in the third or second song, Vim's kick pedal, because we used to play, it used to be Vim on guitar and a kick drum, and Ivan on bass. And the kick pedal broke in half after the second or third song. And I remember Vim coming up to me and saying, bro, you need to pull something out of your ass and keep these people entertained. The next thing I know, Ivan is jumping on tables, sitting next to people in the crowd. The next thing, I'm standing on tables, jumping on bars, and talking to people and in the crowd. And it just became this interactive thing. And it just started to evolve. And I think that moment, that was the start. That was the start of, this is something that is such a part of it. And it was a mindset change. It's when we started working on new material, how we used to do a show. And we got to a point where we were like, okay, and now we need to use our own material and our own music to do this and become unique. And that was you still with me?
Oh yeah, give me 1 second. I seem to be having some internet issues. Oh, dude, the perks of living in perks of living in SA, bro, with third degree internet.
Hey man, we got 5G, bro.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. All right, cool. We should be good to go. So I see we've got a couple of people watching on YouTube, which is really great as well. I think Evan is here. I'm sure he's a cool photographer guy as well. So Evan, thanks for pulling in. But yeah, dude, I think that's one of the most amazing things about hearing origin stories of where people come from, because I think it's really important. You know, the whole point of the podcast and the chats that I've been having with creative people is sort of trying to open up the doors and the barriers for a lot of other people who are trying to make it through and get through into the industry, regardless of what creative industry that might be. Obviously, with regards to you, it's more on the musical side. So I want to chat to you, like, what is one of the most difficult things that you guys had to get through as a band? And that might not necessarily be sort of on the relationship side, but just like getting into the music scene. What's been the most difficult thing?
Money, you know. As an up and coming artist, bro. The first year we were performing, after that sort of turning point of this is now a real thing and this is what we're going to push, and we're going to, you know, actually try and get out there and get the whole country on our music. We took a year where we did every single gig that we could get. Where we'd play, dude, I would bring my full band for a 500 rand fee. You know, I started, we were charging, we would ask 1.5 and we would negotiate down to 800 or 900 rand, which would cover petrol, because there's 4 different band members. Duncan stays in Capital Park. I mean, we all, you know, it was so hard getting people to believe in you. And I mean, we got to a point where our reputation preceded us because we were performing everywhere we could.
Yeah.
We started to show people that, hang on, these guys, you know, they're asking for a little more money, but they are worth what they're selling, you know, because can you imagine, after 3 years, we only released our first EP in March, you know, and even then it was such a bummer because we were planning this massive party at Art Class, and then COVID took over and then we never got to do that. But I think money was the hardest thing, because now you have this passion and you want to fund this passion, you want to carry on, and you want to have money to be like, oh, let me get into the studio and record a couple of tracks. Oh wait, that's going to cost me 8,000 rand. I've made 2,000 rand or 3,000 rand for 5 gigs. You know, oh, by the way, I need to cover my petrol moving around. I need to buy strings for this, and you know, it gets expensive. And we got to a point where we started treating our band as a business. So everything that the band made, we didn't touch. We would fork out our own money for petrol. We'd fork out everything that we needed for the band. We'd fork it out of our own pockets. And everything we got in from the band, we put it into an account and we saved. And then we got to a point where we're like, cool, we've got this massive budget. What are we doing? Who are we employing to take us to the next step? Walk in David, walk in Vare Jakob and all those guys. And that, I think that is one of the hardest things in the industry, is actually making a name for yourself and becoming having your reputation precede.
I want to touch on something that you spoke about right there at the beginning of, you guys took on every single show, every single job that people reached out to you, no matter if it was for 500 rand or 600 rand or 1,500 rand, whatever it was. You guys took on every single job. And I remember this. I remember this being the case. Not obviously, I mean, I was never part of the band. I wasn't involved with the band anyway whatsoever, but I was very intimately involved in the music scene and photographing bands and photographing music festivals and these kinds of things. And I remember having a conversation with someone And I'm like, oh yeah, it's Zebra. Like, obviously love these guys. I know them quite well. And the girl who I was chatting to was like, yeah, Zebra is like what Desmond and Tutu's was, 5 or 6, 7 years ago, because they were like performing everywhere, every single festival, every single concert that you could possibly go to. Desmond and the Tutus was there. And then I feel like that's what you guys became. You guys became that band that no matter what music festival it was, no matter what concert it was, you guys were there, you were performing. And it's sort of, you guys became like the home, like Pretoria's, as I was talking about this earlier, about being at Enclas, you being the home favorites. You guys became like Pretoria's band. Like people would just rock up just to support Zebra because you guys are from the hometown, and you guys made a name for yourselves. You guys put yourselves out there. You did the hard work. You played the bar gigs that no one wants to play. You played the Saturday morning gigs at Opikopi that you don't think anyone's going to show up to. You played the gigs that no one else wanted to play.
Always farmers market gigs that no one wants to play. You know what I'm saying? We played the Mall of Africa market gigs that no one wants to play. We played those small minor families. We gained so much in that. I remember it was a year. Zeta, I remember Zeta Strader was managing us. Indian Productions was managing us at that point. Indian got us every little gig they could get, and we built such a fan base, because we moved from Social on Main in Bryanston to Capital Craft Beer Festival. We went from performing at, we did a cow house night market, a cow house, and I kid you not, we performed to about 20 people, and those 20 people, I can assure you, still follow us today.
Yeah, 100%.
We've done crappy gigs where there was a time where they had an Olympus Farmers Market. It happened twice, I think. And bro, we rocked up at this market and there was no one. We performed to the vendors, people that were selling, and we performed to our girlfriend. I kid you not, Henry, there was no one, and we had the time of our lives. We were supposed to play for 45 minutes. We played an hour and a half because we paid rehearsal.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Still haven't got my money from them.
But you know what this sounds like, Siphe? Maybe this is something that could actually potentially be a problem with you, because I remember a situation, and this has nothing to do with music even. This has to do with a live drama theater production that I rocked up to as an audience member, and I was the only audience member in the audience. I was the only person there. And you were on stage, you were performing. So maybe this is a problem with you. Maybe it's not your band, bro. You're the issue. Like,
I don't know, man. It's hard, bro. It's hard. Those failures. I wouldn't even say it's a failure. Those moments where you are performing for one or two people make your performances to 1,000 people that much better.
100%. And I liked your mentality. You said just now, paid rehearsal. Like, you guys immediately just see the sort of the silver lining. You see the positive side of what's taking place right now. And I feel like that's the reason why you guys have been able to create so much success in a short period of time. So, it's putting in the hard work and also having the right mental, position. So I think that's pretty badass. There's a couple of questions that I sent through to you that I wanted to ask, and we've touched on a few of them. But I feel like being in the music industry in South Africa, it's difficult. And briefly before we started with the live stream, we were actually chatting. You don't just do Zebra. What are some of the other things that you sort of do outside of the music industry that you sort of try to do to keep yourself afloat?
Okay, so obviously I have my day job, which is very fulfilling. I love my kids and I love teaching. At the beginning of this year, before lockdown, I was manager, And I had stopped teaching, and I was more managing the company and helping my boss manage the company and running the teachers and making sure the admin's going and everything. But on a Saturday, I would go in the morning. I would either go to Midstream or go to Garsfontein, our offices in Garsfontein, and I would get 5 or 6 high school students in, and I would teach them actual drama techniques and how to act and stuff. And those moments, bro, those are my favorite moments. You know, I still teach these kids over Zoom and stuff. And those are the moments that really ground me, and those are the moments that take me away from the Zebra Siphe. And those moments they never kind of intertwine. They're two different entities of my life, and I feel like it's two different characters of my life as well. And the other thing is, this year, the big project this year we had was we were directing Shrek. We were going to put on a production of Shrek the music, Shrek Junior the music. And, you know, theater obviously is still one of my biggest passions. I love theater. Whether it be me working backstage, whether it be me being a musical director, whether it be directing the show, that's my little, you know, fun part. And I think the biggest thing I have is that I feel like I'm not working. You know, I know as cliche as it bloody well sounds, I don't work when I go to work. When I step into a school and I step in front of kids and I start to teach a class, I'm acting and having fun. I'm on a stage for those students, and I'm giving them a performance of a lifetime. And I don't feel like I work a day in my life, because if that starts to frustrate me, I step on a stage as a rock star and I live my best life. I mean, who can say that, bro? I go from working in my office in the morning, teaching in the afternoon, and then I walk into a bar and I perform for people and have the time of my life.
So one of the questions I feel like this is a pretty great segue, is like, how do you stay motivated? But it sounds like you don't need to stay motivated because you're just having the time of your life. Are there tough days? Are there difficult days?
I think in these times now, I must say, dude, I feel stifled. I feel, you know, I haven't. Yes, we've had live streams where we've been able to perform and people watch the show, but I crave getting on a stage and watching someone feel something from what I'm singing and from what I'm performing. I crave that. I crave the nerves, the feeling of my body getting when you get onto that stage. That first time you step onto the stage and you're about to start the show and everybody's eyes are looking at you. That I crave that. And it's been a hard time right now. And I think my biggest thing is I will sit with a guitar. I you know me, I'm not a great guitar player. So I'll sit with my guitar and start playing chords and trying to learn how to play a chord. Like I've almost got "I'm Yours" down, Jason Mraz. And that's a cliche, and you know, but it's one of my favorites. I'll sit and watch songs and numbers from musicals that I love. Musicals still get me going and still really like relax me. And I mean,
Ooh, Seeps, I think we lost your audio there, bro. Yeah, your video is still coming through, but your audio is like tortoise, bro. Technology, I'm telling you, technology. This is a struggle. Yeah, it's like there's nothing coming through. Try see if you just restart and stop and restart your audio. Let's see if we can get that to work. Oh man, technology, I hate it so much. Just want to see if there's any questions we're missing out on here on the Facebooks. I'll wait for you to sort your life out over there. Still can't hear you. Still can't hear you. Can you hear me? I'm assuming you can still hear me. Let's see if I... Da-da-dum. If I mute you and unmute you as well. Okay, I'm gonna just drop you off the call, and then just can you see if you can join us back on the call? Oh wait, no, I can't. It says here I shouldn't remove you from the call because you won't be able to rejoin. So just leave the call and come back on. Oh man, anyone who's watching live, I do apologize. Technology, it's a joel. It is a joel. Do we have any questions from the audience whilst I'm here? Is there anybody who is keen to ask Siphe some questions? Let me know. I'm just going through to the gram to have a look and see if there's anyone who's chatting over there. Anyone who wants to know anything? Da-da-da-da-dum. Teacher Siphe. I see this. Teacher Siphe. Still can't hear you. You can hear me apparently. Hold on, let me. I don't know what's going on. Okay, I'm going to end the call, and then I'm going to restart the call, and then just rejoin the conversation again on whatever. I'm assuming you're using something else now, so it's probably not something on your end. This is awkward. Okay, let's have a look and see what happens. Da-da-dum. Do-do-do. Siphe, can you hear me, dude? What is happening?
Can you hear me?
There we go. Now I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm on my phone now.
What happened? What happened? Did your laptop die?
No, it didn't. I just thought maybe a different device will do better.
There we go. All right, so we're back. Well, I like your jacket, bro. Now we can actually see what you look like.
Thanks, bro.
Nice. Anyways, okay, so there's a couple of questions. So we were chatting now about, you know, sort of the most difficult side of what it is that's going on at the moment. And obviously COVID has hit everyone quite hard, but you're sort of missing the live performances. So maybe this is actually something that we can start getting into, and we sort of briefly, very tinily touched on this before we started the live stream. But, you know, why did you go into the music industry? Why did you go into the performance industry? What is it about what it is that you do that makes you want to do what you do?
Yeah, big question. What I say to my kids now, like when I'm teaching, and they ask me, "Sir, I want to be like," or they say, "Sir, I want to be an actor. I want to be a performer," and I say, "Cool." With performing or the arts or anything to do with the stage and music and all that thing, you don't choose it. It chooses you.
Mm.
It's a feeling. Miss Demery, my drama teacher used to say to me, it's a poison. Actually, it wasn't Miss Demery. I think it was Miss Coyne or Miss Jansen Furen now, JVV. She used to say it's a poison, and it's something that you can't live your life without. You know how some people they can't live their lives without their cars, and they put 200,000 there in their cars and stuff. That's what the stage is for me. Bro, I could, you know, people always ask me, would you rather go blind or go deaf? And I say, I'd rather go blind, because if I'm blind, it's fine. I can't see, but I can still hear, and I can still sing, and I can still do those type of things. And it's a calling, man. It's something, you know that if you're going to be sitting in the desk from 8 to 5 one day, you will hate your life. I will hate my life if I had to sit at a desk from 8 to 5. It would kill me, bro. It would literally kill me. And it's something you cannot live without. You've got to have passion for it, and you've got to love what you do to be anything in this business.
Give me 1 second. I'm having all of the technical difficulties today. Give me 1 second. This is hilarious. My headset just died. This is great. Okay, here we go. I should be able to hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
There we go. What's up? Oh man, but yeah, I get what you're saying, and it is. I felt like, you know, a lot of people have always asked me. You know, I'm a qualified engineer, and I'm a practicing photographer. This is what I do for a living, and it's sort of the same thing. People have always asked me, like, why. It's such a big difference. There's such a big jump from engineering to photography. Like, how could you possibly have ever made such a big jump? And it's exactly that, man. It's like you use the term a poison. It's like this thing that it's like a bug. It's like a disease. I've been known to tell people I'm an addict. I have this addiction. All I want to do is go out and take photographs. And you know, obviously there's certain days that are better than others, and there's certain types of jobs that I prefer more than others. But flip, man, put a camera in my hand and let me take photographs, and I'm like the happiest person in the whole freaking world.
Listen, I've known you for years. As you say, we go way back, bro. We go, you know, I think I was in primary school when I first met you. And you were in, I don't even know where you were. But I've always seen you in some creative field. I have never seen you as an engineer. I think I remember telling you when you started studying engineering, what the hell are you doing with your life? You need to go do something, you know, more. What's it, left brain? Is it left brain, the creative side of the brain? Is it right brain? I'm not sure.
I always forget. I'm with you on that.
You needed to be doing something creative, and you excelled in it. You know? I don't think you've ever used your degree since you got it.
Not since I qualified. No, not since I qualified. No. You know, obviously I worked as an engineer whilst I was studying, but not since I qualified. I have not done a single hour of engineering or like official engineering work. So no, I get you, dude. I understand 100%. I think poison is a strong word, but maybe addiction is also probably a strong word. But I think people get the feels for what it is that we're talking
it's
about.
a lifestyle, bro.
Yeah.
It becomes a lifestyle. It's who you are.
This is gonna sound ridiculous, but I met someone. This must have been like a year ago. It must have been like beginning, like we're in June now, like sort of like March last year sometime. And I was having a conversation, and they're like, maybe you shouldn't talk so much about photography. Like maybe that's the reason, people sort of stay away from you. And I'm like, photography is like my life. It's like, it's the air I breathe. It's not just a lifestyle. It's like my blood. It's everything. Like if you were to cut me open over here, like photography would pour out.
Yes.
So no, I feel you. I get you. I 100% understand. So what is interesting? We've spoken about a lot of different things, and sort of your coming of age with the band and where you guys started from. If you were to look back, sort of 3 years ago, starting out, what would you do differently? What would you tell yourself? What would you looking back right now, you're telling past Siphe, giving him some advice, some knowledge bombs. Have we frozen again? This is ridiculous.
I'm seeing you at slow. I don't know if you can.
Siphe, there we go. Now I can see you again.
Can you see me again?
Yes, I can.
Sorry, I didn't catch any of that. You started going really slowly.
So what I was saying, what I was saying was, if you could go back or tell Siphe from 3 years ago when you guys started the band and give him some advice, what would you say to him, or what would you do differently from 3 years ago?
That's always such a loaded question. I saw that question when you sent me that question a couple of days ago, and I was like, "Yo, how would I answer this?" And I think honestly, I wouldn't change a damn thing, bro. Maybe I'd work slightly harder, and maybe not party as much as we did. Although, I wouldn't change a thing. I learned so much in the last 3 years. I learned so much about myself in the last 3 years. I met my best friends, my brothers, in the last 3 years. I met my future wife in the last 3 years. I've met. Yeah, I would not change it for the world. Maybe I would have. Personally, I would have maybe saved a lot better and made more investments in my life. I think that's the only thing I regret not doing earlier. But besides that, man, I wouldn't change a thing. I enjoyed my life, and I've enjoyed my past 2 years. Yeah.
That's good. I often think to myself that I really like who I am right now. I can't regret anything, because if I were to change just one tiny little thing, even if it was a split second from 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 2 years ago, 33 days ago, I wouldn't be who I am right now.
Exactly.
And I think you obviously feel the exact same way, which is great, which is a really, really, really cool place to be in. So with the band, we were chatting earlier, you guys sort of used to take every single job that came your way. What is something that you as a band, or you as a person, have become a lot better at saying no to? Do you guys still do the same jobs? Do you still look at opportunities in the same way, or how do you guys approach things?
I think now we've gotten to a point where, obviously there's always room to negotiate, if you've got a guy, a venue owner, or a booking agent coming to you and saying, "Listen, I want to book you for this gig, but I can only pay 1,000 rand," I'm going to say no. You know, my asking fee now is at 5,000 rand. You know, that's our band asking fee. If we, you know, we can negotiate, and I mean, there's always a middle ground, but we're not gonna just take any gig. We came into this year with the idea of we're gonna slow down on the gigs, but try and do bigger gigs, book bigger events like Splashy Thing, like White Mountain Festival, like Lenterdag. We wanted to book Lenterdag so badly. We wanted to book Park Acoustics. We want, you know, those type of things, events where you're like, okay, wait, Zebra has gone from playing every single band, every single bar and event they can to, ooh, they're playing really big gigs now. And that's all you're ever going to see them doing. And it's now, we got to a point where we now needed to build our brand and build what Zebra is going to become. And now we wanted to take that to the world. And that was the plan. I mean, we wanted to start, you know, thinking internationally. Oh, wow. Not my right now.
That's awesome. So, Sips, starting to wind down here. I see we've been going on the live stream for just under an hour. Our conversation, our personal well, I don't even know how long our personal conversation's been. We've been stopped and started a couple of times. All of the technical difficulties. You know how it goes. Band on stage, your mic just like, you know, mic cable pulls out and you're stuck with our vocals. Dude. What is, if you had access to this microphone right now and this microphone was plugged into every single headset in and around the world and everyone was listening to this headset, what message would you get out into the world? You're looking at me very seriously.
Yeah, I lost you for 2 seconds.
Oh.
But I asked me, what advice I would give to people?
Like what message? What message would you put out into the world? What would you put on a big ass billboard on the N1?
Don't take yourself too seriously, bro. Rule number 1: don't ever take yourself too seriously, bro. You're not hot shit. You're not. So don't ever take yourself too seriously. Enjoy your life. Have friends. Keep friends. Love the people around you, and love your family, and just have a good time and enjoy your life. Money does not make the world go round.
That's
cool. That's my advice.
I like that.
And dream. Have dreams.
Dreaming is a good thing. It's a good thing to have. I feel like so many people in the creative industry, like we wouldn't be where we are right now if we didn't somehow at some point have a dream of wanting to be where we are. So Seeps, starting to wind down here a little bit. Where can all the party people who have been listening to our disjointed conversation for the last hour and a bit, where can they find you on the interwebs?
So myself, personally on Instagram, it's at sips_mash45. But our band is at Zebra Band ZA everywhere. If you type in at Zebra Band ZA on Facebook, Instagram, you'll find us. We are on Spotify, we're on Apple Music, we're on iTunes, we're on Google Play, we're on Deezer, we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram. Anywhere you will find Zebra. Go look at our new EP that we've just dropped in March. It's a really, really awesome EP. It's all of our first big hits that we've ever played, and they're those songs that you can't have a Zebra set without. So check it out and check out our socials.